So I asked you guys over on Instagram to send in any questions or topics that you want me to discuss. You know, it's like a bestie, sister, heart to heart, do you know what I mean? This mug is literally the cutest thing ever. It's from New Look, I want to say. But that's such a good coffee as well. Okay, so I'm going to go onto my Instagram and just find all of the questions you guys sent in. There's honestly so many, and it just melted my heart to think that like you guys trust me to like ask those questions and things. We've got quite a few to get through. So someone said, could you discuss how you find self-love / confidence within yourself? And quite a few people had asked for kind of confidence tips, how to learn to love yourself, how to stop comparing yourself, and I thought this would be a really nice one to start on. So I think one of the biggest ways that I stopped comparing myself kind of physically was by finding self-love, because I think if you get to the point where you've got a good enough relationship with yourself and you love yourself, you won't feel the need to compare yourself. So we're going to go down the self-love route. The biggest thing for me was to stop putting myself down, and I used to do it when I was looking in the mirror, when I was opening my Snapchat camera, when I was opening my TikTok camera, and you just say it kind of subconsciously in your head, just like, oh, I look really gross today, oh, I look really tired today, oh, I look ugly, oh, this is wrong with me, blah blah blah. One time I actually said it out loud to myself, and I was like, hold on, that's horrible, like that is so mean. And everybody says kind of don't say things to yourself that you wouldn't say to other people, and it's so much easier said than done. I feel like it's quite a cliche phrase, but it is so true. Like genuinely, if you want to become your own best friend and you want to love yourself, you're never gonna get there by putting yourself down. Say you're trying to become friends with somebody, if you are constantly putting that person down and saying horrible stuff about their appearance, they're not going to want to be friends with you. A weird way of putting it, but it's so true. Like, you have to treat yourself like a friend. You have to kind of almost get a separation between like having like two parts of yourself. Like there's like your conscious brain and then there's you, and as soon as your brain and yourself become friends, that is where you find self-love. And it takes time, trust me. Like, it took me so long to get to the place where I'm at now. I genuinely look at myself in the mirror, and yes, sometimes, okay, I've had a breakout, or I look really tired, or my hair is greasy, or whatever, but I still would never put myself down anymore, and I don't feel the need to do that. Like, it's a habit that we've all built up, so it takes time to break that habit, but it's so worth it, honestly. One of the other things for self-love is putting effort into your appearance, because essentially you are showing up for yourself, and obviously it is so important equally to love yourself kind of without makeup, without your hair and things like that. Putting effort into your appearance and getting ready in the mornings, even if it's just doing your skincare, even if it's just brushing your hair, like as long as you're doing something, you're kind of beginning to build that relationship with yourself, because you're not going to wake up one day and just think, oh, I really like what I look like, if you've spent kind of months or years or whatever hating yourself. That's a bit deep, but you get the vibe. Obviously, learning to love yourself, a lot of people definitely think of this as kind of your physical appearance, but one of the things that I think can then bring in your physical appearance later is actually putting more effort into your energy and your personality, because if you feel like you are an enjoyable person to be around, you're going to attract more positivity into your life. You're going to feel, if you feel confident, like it's the biggest thing, like, because confidence is technically all fake. We can fake confidence and nobody knows whether that confidence is real or not. So if you can trick your brain into thinking that you're really confident, you're going to end up becoming more confident. So it is like fake it till you make it. When I go into a room, I'm not trying to think, oh, am I the prettiest person in the room? Like, that's not at the forefront of my mind. At the forefront of my mind is, am I an enjoyable person to be around? Am I a kind person? Do I make people laugh? Little things like that. And then as you become more confident in your personality and your energy, you're going to develop just general self-confidence anyway, because your appearance becomes the least important thing about you. And I think that's the biggest thing. Rather than spending your whole self-love journey trying to focus on your physical appearance, if you just remove that from the situation, it'll come with it, because it becomes less important to you. I'm going to move on to the next question because I feel like I waffled that one. Someone said, advice for feeling alone if you've never been in a relationship. And someone else said, I feel like I'm behind people in my age as I've never been in a relationship. How do I stop this? I am your girl to ask for this one. I've never been in a relationship. I've never had like a talking stage, anything like that. And so many times I kind of doubt myself and think, is there something wrong with me? Like, why have I not experienced this that literally everybody else is experiencing? But when you take a step back from the situation, you realise that it's actually not as uncommon as you think. You scroll through TikTok, you see so many couples. You scroll through Pinterest, it's like couples. Instagram, couples, they're literally everywhere, especially this time of year as well. But when you really take a step back from the situation, you look at the people in your kind of immediate circle, there's a lot more people than you think that either haven't been in a relationship, aren't in a relationship, are just single, thriving, happy by themselves. And I genuinely think, like, especially if you're watching this and you're kind of like, I'm 18, if you're kind of in that age group as well, like, we are still so young and there's still so much time. And one of my goals for 2024 was to stop wishing I had a boyfriend, because as much as that's true, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's literally no point wishing that you had a boyfriend. Like, I also always try and think about the reasons that I'm not in a relationship. Like, I don't think I could prioritize having a boyfriend at this point in time when I have my A-levels coming up. Like, I just don't think that would be realistic anyway. So sometimes there's kind of reasons behind it, and everything will work out and we will find the one someday, guys. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is not caring about other people's opinions. I had quite a few questions saying how to not care about others' opinions, how to overcome social awkwardness to sit and do work in a coffee shop. Now, genuinely, I love my own company, right? I am so happy to go off and do things by myself. I don't find it awkward, I don't find it embarrassing at all. But I definitely used to, like, I haven't always been like that. And I think the biggest thing you can do is main character it. Like, that is literally what I have written down in my notes, is main character it. Like, just pretend that you are the main character. I find a massive difference when I'm walking around with my AirPods in listening to like a main character vibe song than when I'm just walking with no music on. It makes you feel like you're in a movie, it makes you feel like you're in a TV show. The amount of times I've been sat in a coffee shop doing work and I see so many other people doing the exact same thing on their own, nobody cares. Like, literally nobody cares, and I mean that with my whole heart. Nobody cares if you're sat by yourself. Think, like, if you look like you don't care what other people are thinking of you, if you look like you're just quite content by yourself, if you look like you're getting on with your work, people are going to look at you and think, oh my god, like, I wish I could do that. Oh my god, I wish I was that confident to go and do things by myself. Also, to think about not caring what other people think. Again, you have the main character. Like, you are literally the biggest and most important person in your life, so you may as well do what you want to do. I think if you really want something badly enough, other people's opinions won't stop you from getting that, because a lot of people have asked me, oh, I want to start social media but I'm too scared of what people think. And I genuinely think if you wanted to start social media that badly, the effect of other people's opinions would not counteract that, would not stop you doing that. Whether it's how badly you want to go and study in a coffee shop by yourself, whether it's how badly you want to start social media, write down all the reasons you want to do that, write down what you want to get out of that, and find so many more reasons that will counteract worrying about what other people think. Because I genuinely could not care less. Actually, the only people whose opinions I care about are those of my family, my close friends, and my teachers. Anybody else, I do not care at all what you think. I literally could not care less. Like, and it is the best thing you'll ever do, because you'll do so much more for yourself. Okay, the next thing I'm going to answer is tips for having low mental health weeks and how to pick yourself back up. Now, I would say that this is quite relevant to me because my mental health has not been the best recently. I have been struggling quite a bit, but the last couple of days I've kind of been able to pick myself up. So this is kind of a few things that I did to do that. I think to get out of a rut, you kind of need to start fresh. I would say when your mental health is low, I treat that as like my physical health being low. So I literally will treat myself as if it's just like a physical health sick day. So stay in bed, eat your comfort foods, watch a movie, have an everything shower or a bath, like do all those kind of like slow self-care things that you would do when you're physically feeling unwell, because it gives you a really nice basis to work back up from, rather than just, you want to start slowly building yourself up into a productive routine. And by productive, I don't mean like revising and everything, I mean just like day-to-day tasks. So something that helps me doing that is planning the night before and literally writing a to-do list of every tiny thing, from like getting out of bed, brushing my teeth, all those kind of things, and then you can just tick it off as you go along. But don't overwhelm yourself with things to do at one time. Like, if you are struggling, take the pressure off to do anything kind of extra. Like, just have days completely off, have days to take time and care of yourself, and I think that's the biggest thing. One thing I've done this week, which seems to have helped me a little bit, it's quite random, is finding new music to listen to. So just artists or songs that I've never listened to before, because I think sometimes when you're feeling a bit rubbish, it's really easy to listen to kind of nostalgic or sad songs just to feel in your feels. And sometimes that isn't the healthiest thing to do. For a little bit, yeah, but not for a like prolonged period of time. So finding a new artist or a new album to listen to can kind of almost make you feel like you're having a fresh start and move you out of like a nostalgic or sad vibe. It's helped me. I don't know what it is. I'd say definitely talking to someone and getting your feelings out. Kind of going to lead me on to my next one, which I actually wanted to talk about in this video, and I'm really glad somebody asked this. So somebody said tips for dealing with anxiety. So I wanted to talk about this because it's been something that I've been dealing with over the last kind of couple of months, and it is genuinely one of the hardest things I've ever dealt with, because it is the most isolating feeling. To think that if any of you guys are watching this going through that, breaks my heart. Like honestly, I can't, like, it makes me so sad to think that other people will feel like that, because I think that is quite a common experience with anxiety, is just to feel so alone, because it's really something I found is really hard to explain. It leads to you like feeling like you can't talk to anyone and people aren't going to understand. But genuinely, when I tell you, my biggest tip is to talk to someone, even though it's probably the hardest thing ever to do, because you feel so vulnerable. But no matter what it is, even if it's like something different, not just anxiety, which is anything, but specifically with anxiety, talking to somebody is the only thing, well, there's a few things that have helped, but the biggest thing that's helped me. So talking to someone can be really difficult. So one thing I also really enjoy doing is journaling. I literally use this journal right here, and I just brain dump. I write down everything I was feeling, especially if I've had like a specifically bad day or something that's specific that has happened and I feel like, oh my god, nobody's going to understand that. I write it in so much detail in my journal just to get all of those feelings out. Definitely talking to somebody is my biggest tip. I'd say depending on where you get anxious, for me, taking myself away to somewhere quiet is a really important factor for me to do. And also just letting people around you know. So for example, if it's something that happens to you in school or it's something that happens to you at home, just making people aware of it can also be helpful. Like, you don't necessarily have to explain what's going on, but it can just be helpful so that you can remove yourself from the situation. They can help to remove you from a situation. See, it's such an individualized thing, and it's probably not going to be the same for everyone. And maybe one day I'll have better advice for it, but I hope that does help a little bit for now. So next question is one that I actually really like, which is how to find a sense of self outside of studies. So if you are like me, if you're someone that just relies heavily on academic validation and just ties all self-worth and identity to a literal letter or number, here's my advice. The biggest thing I can tell you is that you need to find other things that you enjoy, because for me, like, I genuinely do enjoy studying, so it's not like it's a chore for me, but it's obviously not healthy to equate your worth to grades. Ways that you can spend your time that isn't to do with studying is very important. I'm gonna try and wrap up this video kind of soon, because I'm currently having work done on our house and it's really loud and I keep having to stop filming. But let me know if you guys would want a part 2 on this, because I definitely can do that. So somebody said, what is your favourite way of relaxing after studying? I tend to stop studying probably around 8-9 p.m, and while Love Island is on, Love Island gives me such structure to my evening routine. So I normally stop about 8:30, I do my skincare, I'll have a shower, I'll make sure my room is nice and clean and tidy, and I'll watch Love Island for the evening, and then sometimes I will read before I go to bed as well, and that seems to work. So someone said, what is your favourite Costa order? So my go-to at Costa is a iced vanilla latte. That's my go-to anywhere, to be fair. But the Costa drink I actually love the most, which it should be coming out again soon in the summer, I don't know when it comes out exactly, but the strawberry lemonade is the literal love of my life. It is incredible. Quite a few people have asked me about like perfumes and things, which I'm going to take as a compliment. Like, does that mean you guys think I smell nice? I'll take that. I love that. So my go-to kind of scent combos, I love kind of like a fresh vanilla-y scent, like rather than like a warm vanilla, like a fresh vanilla. I don't know, that's a bit random actually. My absolute favourite scent of all time at the moment is the Bath & Body Works In the Stars body mist spray. It's not very strong, but it is such a nice, like, delicate scent. It's gorgeous. And then my perfume that I always use is the Lush American Cream one. It's like such a sweet sugary scent, but it's not overpowering. Like, it's honestly, it's so nice. So I'm gonna finish on what is a quote that you live by, and my absolute favorite quote is short and sweet. It is, be the energy that you want to attract. Because like I said when I was talking about kind of confidence, I think somebody's energy is the absolute best thing about them. You give positive energy out, you're going to attract positive energy in, and I genuinely think it's so true, and I live by it. I think about it every day. I think about it in social situations all the time. I'm going to wrap up this video here, but I hope that you guys did enjoy watching. I hope it gave you, I don't know what my purpose was for this video, to be fair, but I just wanted to talk. I love to talk. If you did enjoy, if you want me to do more videos kind of on this kind of chatty vibe in the future, definitely let me know and I'll do that for you. But yeah, that is everything for today. I love you all loads, and I'll see you next Friday.